Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. Welcome to SimpliCode's YouTube channel, and in today's session, we'll understand how to perform traversal and searching operation on circular linked list. Now, in our previous tutorials, we have discussed in detail about linked list like single linked list, doubly linked list, circular linked list, and also we have performed certain operations like insertion and deletion as well as traversal and searching as well on different linked lists. Now, in today's session, we'll understand how this operation on traversal and insertion will happen in a circular linked list. So, a circular linked list basically is the one which the last node or the tail of the linked list points to the first node, that is, head of the linked list. As a result, there is no null node at the end of the circular linked list, unlike a single linked list. So, while traversing the circular linked list, we must check to see if you have completed the list once and are now on the first node head. Otherwise, we will loop through it indefinitely. So, in simple words, you can say a singly linked list, we can traverse the list from the head node and stop the traversal when we reach the null pointer. And in a circular linked list, we stop the traversal when we reach the first node again. So, we'll discuss all that in detail. But before we begin, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, consider getting subscribed to our channel SimpliCode to stay updated with all the latest tech content. And hit that bell icon to never miss an update from us. So as you can see, Visual Studio Code has started. So firstly, let us understand the algorithm and how traversal works. So firstly, this is comment here, which is traversal operation in circular linked list. So now how traversal works in circular linked list. Now the address of the head node will be stored in a temporary pointer first, and we will loop until the temporary is not null, because it will never happen in a circular linked list because there is no null node at the end of the list. So because the tail points to the head, which is not possible in circular linked list, so as a result of this, the end case for circular linked list is only to check if the temporary variable that we have taken is back to the head node. That is, if let's say temp is equals to head, in only that case we have reached the circular loop. That is, from let's say if you have started the traversal from the head node and you are performing the traversal operation on the circular linked list, once it reaches the last node and returns to the head node again, then only we can exit the loop. So let's just understand with this code and where we'll get a clear idea. So let's just write the code for that. Include the header files first, hash include iostream, and using namespace. Alright. So firstly, again as usual, we'll create a node structure for us simply circular linked list. So I'm bringing struct node, and inside that I am passing a data which will store the value in our node and a pointer that will point to the next node. So node next. Alright. Next, we have to create a function in order to traverse the circular linked list using a temporary variable temp. So for that, I am creating a function, let's say void. The name of a function will be traverse circular linked list. So this is just the function name. You can keep it as per your own choice. So inside that, we are passing a parameter node head. So we have basically created a pointer to the head of a list, and inside that, firstly, let's just check if the list is empty or not. So for that, if head is equals to null pointer, so in that case we will return cout list is empty, right? And let's end the state, end line, and return. All right. Now next, we have to traverse the list from the head node using a temporary variable. Now you can do traversal from any position, but making traversing from the head of the node is the easiest. So the head node will make our approach very much easier, as we already have a pointer to the head of the list. So what you have to do is basically, firstly we have to create a temporary node. So a node temp, and make it point to the head. Now we have to keep incrementing that temp value while temp is not equals to the head of the list. So in every iteration that we are performing, we have to also print the temp's data and then store the data as well. So as explained already, we are using the head as our starting node here, and terminating the loop we are when we reach the head node again. So let's just write the code, you'll get to know. So I'm passing that passing a pointer temp which is pointing to the head of the node first. Alright. Now what we'll do is we'll perform a loop here. All right. So basically if the head is null, simply we have to return the list is empty. Otherwise, we have to create a node temp and make it point to the head of the list. Now, with the help of a do while loop, we will keep printing the temp of the data that we have stored in the node and increment the temp while temp is not equals to the head of the list. So the code would be do. So inside that, cout temp of data. So that is the value that is stored in that first node. All right. Now this will be continued. So for that, I am using a while loop here, while temp is not equals to null. All right. So that is the main approach for circular linked list. All right. So and end the line. So I'm just using cout end line. So I hope you understood what we are doing here. Now next we have to basically create a circular linked list with as per your own choice of nodes. So we'll just see how to create that. I'm just creating a main function int main, and inside that we are creating a circular linked list. Let's say we will take 3 nodes, which will be easier to understand. So I'm just creating node of head is equals to new node. Now you can declare as per your own convenience. So this is one of the method to initiate the values to pass into our function. So you can check this out. Node second is equals to new node, and we are considering another node, right? Third one. So node pointed to third node is equals to the new node. Alright, we have created a method for this. Now we have to pass the data. So firstly, the head of data, let's take the value as 1. So the head of next will become the second value, right? So head of next is equals to second. Now in this second, we have to store the value again. So next it will become head of data is equals to, again head of next will point to the third node. So head of next is equals to third. Next again head of this is second of data is equals to second. Now head of next will point to the third again. So the third of data will become third of data is equals to 3. And the third of next will not point to the null here, but the head value, since it is a circular linked list. Third of next is equals to head. So we are just inserting some values 1, 2, 3 into our circular linked list. Now we are left with traversing the circular linked list using the temporary variable. So we'll just call that function which we have performed earlier, traverse circular linked list, and inside that pass head and return 0. So that's it, guys. This is basically the approach or the code that we need to run for traversal operation in circular linked list. So I'll just execute at this and we'll see the output. So click on the run button here and we'll see the output. So as you can clearly see, 1, 2, 3 are the elements that are being printed. So what traversal does is it will search for each an element and will print that element present in that particular node. So we have taken 1, 2, 3 and it is searching for each and every element present in that node. So that is what basically traversal is all about. That is visiting the node at least once and printing the value in our resultant output. So you have understood this. So let us now take another example of how to perform a search operation in a circular linked list. So let's just understand the code for that also. For that, include the header files again. So again, firstly, let us create a structure for the node. So I'm taking the structure keyword struct node, and inside that again we have to initialize data that is to be stored in the circular linked list, and next a pointer that will point to the next of the circular linked list. So node of next. Now we will create a class where we will pass the arguments. So I'm taking a class, let's say circular linked list, and inside that I'm creating a private member function to initialize the circular linked list. So we'll have a head pointer, that is node asterisk head, and we will have a public member function where I'm creating a constructor to initialize the circular linked list to null. So circular linked list, I'm calling the constructor circular linked list, and initially the head is equals to null. So I hope you've understood this. Next, we have to create a function to insert some nodes in the circular linked list. So I'm just creating a function for that. So void, let's say the function name is insert node. So you can take it as per your own choice. You can give any name to your function, and inside that I'm passing in data as an argument. So the code will be new node of new data, node asterisk new node is equals to new node, and inside that we will store the data. So the new node of data will store the data, that is the value in that particular node. Alright, now we have to check if the head is null or not, right? So if head is equals to null, so in that case what we'll do is we'll assign the head to the new node. Head is equals to new node, and head of next will become the head again. Head of next will become head. Also we have to give the else condition, right? So else node, we are creating a temporary variable here which will point to the head, and while this temp is not equals to the head value, so while temp of next is not equals to null, we will be traversing this circular linked list, which is basically the definition of circular linked list, where we will not have any null node at the end. It will traverse until it reaches the head node again. So not equals to head, in such case the temp will, we will store the temp value again. So temp is equals to, temp will become temp of next. So temp of next is equals to new node, and new node of next will become the head. So I hope you understood till this. We are creating a function insert node where we are trying to insert some element for the circular linked list. Now let us now try to create a function in order to search for that particular element in a node present inside our circular linked list. So let's just take Boolean function. So it is basically search found or not. So we are using a Boolean function here. So bool search node. Again, inside that I'm passing a data parameter into data, and I'm initializing the head temp pointer, that is node asterisk temp is equals to head, and I'm initializing a variable, let's say found is equals to false. So Boolean expression found is equals to false. Now we have to specify the condition when the element is found. We have to return the element, and if it is not found, and for in such case also we have to return the output for that. So the first condition would be if head is not equals to null. Alright, then we will perform a do while operation. Do if temp of next, temp of data is equals to the data that we are trying to found, then in such case we will say that found is equals to true, and will break that loop there and there itself. Okay, so we have to store this value. So temp is equals to temp of next, and we also write, we need to see until how many iterations it will perform, right? So while temp of head is not equals to null, we will keep performing this loop. We will close the brackets and return found. So that's it, guys. I think this is the function for in order to search a particular node in a circular linked list. Now we are again left with the main function. So let's just create a main function in main, wherein we will pass, we'll call the circular linked list class which we have taken, and we'll create a object for our class. So pass the class name, which is circular linked list, and let's take the object name as, let's say, my list. Okay, now you can insert as many nodes as you want by calling the object. So my list dot insert node, let's take element 6. Next, my list dot insert node 10. You can give it as per your own choice. You can even create a loop function, and you can take input from the users as well. I'm just showcasing how it works. So I'm writing this. My insert node, my list insert node. Let's take another element 15. My list dot insert node. Let's take 20. My list dot insert node 25. I think 5 elements are more than sufficient, so that is it. So let us now search for another element in our linked list. So I'm just writing cout. The input I'm giving is search for 10 in the circular linked list. Now since we already have the element 10, it will say that the element is there, it is found, or something like that. You can give as per your own choice again. So linked list and end the line. So in that case, we have to check whether it is there or not. So I'm using if condition to do that. So if my list dot call the search node function that we have passed, search node of 10. Alright, we are trying to find the element 10. So in that case, we will give the output as cout found. Alright, and end the line. Else, we have to also give that it is not found. Else, cout not found. As simple as that. Close the brackets. So let us try to search for another element which is not there in the list. So let's say if I'm trying to search for an element 30 in this linked list, which is actually not there in our linked list, what will be the output we will see. So pass the cout search for 30 in the circular linked list. Circular linked list. So again, give the condition if my list dot search node of 30, which is basically the element that we are trying to find. So in that case, if it is found, we will print the value. So it is cout found. Alright. Now we also have to mention the else condition. So else cout not found. Now obviously, since 30 is not there in our circular linked list, it will throw an error stating that the element is not found. That will see the output whether it is showing correct value or not. So end the line and we will return 0. Right, so that is the case. So I think the code is pretty much done. We have basically performed a search operation where we have created a structure for our node, and then we have created a class to call all the parameters. Where we have created a function of inserting nodes, and then we have created a search node which will try to find whether the element that you're searching is there or not. And finally, we have created int main. So let's just try to run this and we'll see the output. So click on run button. It will take some time to process. So as you can see that searching for 10 in the circular linked list, and it is showing that the element is there and it is displaying found. Whereas searching for 30 in a circular linked list, since we do not have search of the element 30 in our doubly linked list, it is saying not found. So basically this function search node searches for a node and then gives the data value in the circular linked list. It basically starts at the head and iterates to the list until it finds a node with the given value, or until it has visited every node in the linked list once. So in this main function, this is where we are calling, right? We created a circular linked list class and inserted several nodes with different data values, and we are then calling the search node function twice to find, the values for 10 and 30 respectively, whether or not they are present in the circular linked list. So this program basically outputs whether each value that you have been trying is there in the list or not. It will say whether it is found or not. Now you also note that circular linked list is handled by making the next pointer of the last node in the list pointing to the head of the list instead of null, which is again the main definition of circular linked list, which is in opposing to this singly linked list, which will have a null pointer at the end. So this way we can iterate through the list indefinitely until we have visited each and every node once, without worrying about the next pointer of the last node being null value. So the traversal or even the search operation can be done in both backwards and the forward ways in circular linked list. So with that, we have come to the end of this tutorial, guys. I think we have pretty much covered everything about how traversal and searching process is done in circular linked list. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you found this tutorial informative and helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any further queries regarding any of the topics covered in today's session, feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and a team of experts will be more than happy to help resolve all your queries at the earliest. Stay tuned to the channel for more such amazing content, and if you want to learn more about data structures, we have a dedicated playlist on our channel on various data structures like arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, and various operation on all these data structures. You can check that link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe and keep learning.